raising hell today, okay?
Bring the juice today, brother. Let's get it.
Come on, you're gonna be standing right next to me, man. Let's go.
That's what we do now. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Let's do our thing now. Take off, kid. Take off, kid.
Run.
Far side of the 10. Step off to the 5. 10 for the end zone.
What a play. What a play.
Derrick Henry was on my team, so I'm going to go Texans, I guess.
Yeah, he's on Tennessee, though.
Oh.
You tried. You went for it. I appreciate it. This is Up the Gut. Live.
100%. Welcome to another episode of Up the Gut. I am your host, Matthew F. Ehlers, and with me, as always, is Bills Mafia Don, family man, Patrick Kimmel, a.k.a. El Pollo Loco.
Caca.
Now, do you have a new nickname because Missouri finally got an El Pollo Loco?
Oh, no, I just...
Damn.
One of those things that pops up in my head.
I don't know. I had my hopes that maybe they finally got one of those restaurants. That'd be something I can come home to.
I didn't even realize that was a restaurant. I just thought it was something you ordered off the menu at a restaurant.
That's an actual restaurant chain, El Pollo Loco.
Sounds crazy.
It is. Crazy delicious from what I hear.
Well, welcome back, everybody.
Yes. Another week, another episode, because we don't take these days off.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I mean, it's something pretty drastic for one of us not to miss this.
Well, there may be something drastic coming up.
Like what?
Something in about 9 months.
Nuh-uh. Why?
I love your face. So anyway.
How many of them do you need?
All of them.
You already have all of them.
I know. But it's not a big deal. But that you're just saying. Not yet. So big news brewing in the NFL world, but tragic news in the Up the Gut world.
Indeed. And we will cover all of that in our segment we always start with, our not so breaking off-season news.
Not so breaking off-season news.
Now, it's no secret that Patrick loves Alex Smith. I love Alex Smith.
Everybody
except for one person loves Alex Smith. The one person that didn't vote him for comeback player of the year.
And this is his fault. He planted that seed of doubt in teams, their minds. He did this to us because we all can agree. We love Alex Smith. You love Alex. Everybody. How could you not love Alex Smith?
Sequence.
And I hope everybody enjoyed that little video we always play for him, because that's probably the last time we're going to do it. Because Alex Smith has officially retired from the National Football League.
So stupid.
On Alex Smith's part?
That he had that no one snatched him up. There's no reason not to have Alex Smith on a team. He could start on some teams, but he could mentor on so many others after what he come back with. But I watched his retirement video. He's going to take some walks with his wife. It's right in the fields. Right in the fields, Alex Smith. So, we may have to officially retire that video. One of the longest running and one of my favorite gags, videos, whatever you want to call it, that we do here on Up the Gut.
I wouldn't say it's a gag because we do love Alex Smith.
I do.
But, I mean, everybody has to retire except for Tom Brady, I guess.
But no, anyway,
he had a good career. I don't think he lived up to being the first overall pick like everyone hoped he would, but
He had a really rough go of his career, though. You
did.
realize his first 5 seasons was 5 different offensive coordinators, 5 different offensive schemes he had to learn. Then the injuries, he got Kaepernicked. Then he got Kaepernicked again by Mahomes, and then he got his legs snapped in half and they tried to kill him. This dude did not have an easy go of it, but he's still probably one of the best attitudes in the NFL. I mean, this.
Oh yeah, as a person, he's top notch. Absolutely. And
he was. I mean, look. He got Washington to the playoffs. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that the Giants and the Eagles and the Cowboys didn't necessarily. They helped a lot, but he's the one that turned around that Washington and got him there.
He is, and that's why I was shocked that he wasn't coming back for another season.
It smells so good. But, yeah, me too. But
at the same time, he's also been in the league for 16 years.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. It seems like just yesterday. But, he had maybe not what was expected or what we would have liked career-wise for him to have, but he still had a great career. I mean, he did great things for Mahomes and getting him set to be one of the greatest ever. He, had that injury, came back from that injury, proved to everybody he could.
Yeah.
And so
and
much like the
to being the unanimous comeback player of the year.
Fuck that one guy. I don't know who he is, but I want him to come on this show. It'll be the only not nice interview I ever do in my life. It'll just me, just expletives. Just like I'm gonna have like a filter on my microphone that Philip Rivers it. Otherwise, we won't be able to go on the internet. We'll get kicked off of YouTube. But just like we do the hashtag FitzProBowl, we're gonna do the I don't know. We'll think of the hashtag, which makes it a little easier to say, but the Comeback Player of the Year award will from now on be the Alex Smith Award. If that doesn't happen officially, that would be stupid.
If it doesn't happen officially, it'll at least happen here on this show. That's what
we will only ever if we can remember when it comes time for that award next year.
I feel like we'll remember.
We shouldn't remember.
Well,
but you never know. When Buffalo's winning the Super Bowl, I may be kind of forgetful.
I'll remember. Hashtag never forget.
Hashtag Alex Smith Comeback Player of the Year Award. The Alex Smith. The Smithy.
The Smithy.
Anyway. So, again, that was heartbreaking for me when I saw that. Of course, not so breaking. This happened a couple days ago. But from everybody here at Up the Gut, Alex Smith, you'll never see this, but congratulations on a great career, and we'll miss you.
Indeed. Let's see.
I don't even know if there's any other off-season news going on right now. It's all, I guess, they just announced May 12th they're going to release the schedule.
Yep.
And
Antonio Brown settled his sexual assault suit with his ex-trainer. It's settled, so that's over for him.
So what about Deshaun Watson? Did he get to any of the 932 cases he has?
I think they worked on a couple of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's talk about Quentin Nelson, the guard for the Indianapolis Colts, getting kicked out to tackle.
Yeah, I think we've discussed that before. There's no reason that, offensive line is offensive line. If you know what you're blocking, you should be able to block it. So,
yeah. And I see a thing here that I hadn't seen before. Owners approve rule expanding eligible jersey numbers.
Yeah, I've been seeing that one stirring up. Stephon Diggs' quote on it was, "I'm not switching numbers." A lot of people paid a lot of money for that 14, and he's right.
Yeah, I don't think anybody who already has their number assigned should switch unless they want to.
I mean, even then, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it, but I also don't play in the NFL, so do what you want.
Yeah. I was hoping it meant something like we would start hitting triple-digit numbers. I would love to see number 167 on somebody.
I don't think they'll do that. No, I think it's just it allows people, the numbers are set for positions, usually 70s offensive linemen, 90s defensive linemen. It's just expanding that to where, receivers could have single digits, or in that range. That's all it's really doing is just opening it up more.
Yep. Let's see. Running backs, tight ends, fullbacks, halfbacks, and receivers can wear 1 through 49 and 80 to 89. Defensive backs can choose from 1 through 49. Linebackers 1 through 59 and 90 to 99. Offensive lineman, 50,
I want a 99 linebacker.
offensive lineman 50 to 79, and defensive lineman 50 to 79 and 90 to 99.
So you're just kind of opening up to, basic. Yeah, no, it makes sense. I'm okay with it.
We're gonna see a lot more number ones around the league.
I'm number one.
Indeed.
Well, why we're talking about it. If you had a number, what would your NFL number be? If you had a jersey number.
Oh, it would have been 69, but Bakhtiari already has it.
You're just assuming you're on the Packers.
Of course I am.
I don't even know who.
I'd probably take 99 if it's not already taken in Green Bay. I don't believe it is. I'll have to double check.
99's Harrison Phillips in Buffalo, and I don't think there's a 21. If there is, it'd be a defensive back, but I'd go 21. Actually, I already have a 21 jersey, so I don't care who it is. I think it used to be like Leotis McKelvin or a defensive back of some sort.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. If you're in the comments, comment what your jersey number would be. And if you would like to add extra credit, you can pick which team you would hypothetically be on, imaginarily, fantastically be on.
Oh, wait. Well, they have a 99 right now, but it's also the huge roster that hasn't been cut down yet.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, if it's available, 99 until Bakhtiari. Once Bakhtiari leaves, I would take 69 until they retired it.
That is like the most Googled. Okay, that is Jordan Poyer. I thought it might be Poyer, and it is Jordan Poyer. So Jordan Poyer has my number, so we'll just have to get him off the team. I couldn't do that to Jordan Poyer. So I will just hold off on my NFL career until Jordan Poyer retires.
Nice.
And then I'll go in and get it.
Yeah, but you can get started at 40. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, shoot. I'll be older than him retiring whenever I started, but that's cool. I mean, listen, my body's a temple.
Yeah, you only need 2 good seasons. 2 good seasons.
Listen, if they paid me like league minimum 1 year, I'd be good.
Yeah. 2 good seasons making 7 figures. You're good. You're golden.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. I'd still want to be a safety. So you know what, Jordan Poyer, whenever you're ready to retire, just hit me up. I'm ready. And his wife, the national treasure, Rachel Bush, who follows Up the Gut on Twitter.
How nice of her.
I know. She is.
Anybody who follows us is a national treasure.
I wouldn't go that far. Even though there's some people that specifically stated they will not follow us here recently. I shouldn't be allowed to be on the Twitter. I'm not like these kids. I don't get off on the social medias. So I'll say what I want, when I want, how I want. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Here's a cell phone.
It's so easy.
I like that.
Just
Got this Patrick big ass beard floating in. And if you're watching now, click the like.
Yeah, it's never too late to like.
No, it's never too late. So I mentioned the schedule release is coming out, and there's rumors that Buffalo's going to have a lot of late primetime games again. So that's cool. This year it won't be a big deal. I've got the football. Last year I didn't, so it was really nice to have that. And we all know the Packers have like 99% primetime games, so you're good.
I mean, when you have one of the top QBs in the league, that's what you get.
Yep.
Games.
Speaking of, you want to give them a little hint at what's coming up next? Because I don't think we ever even said. I think we decided to do it like 2 days ago. We
did. Yeah, we didn't decide on the league. We're going back to rating some stuff.
I love to rate stuff.
Yes, you do.
Sorry.
And we're going to rate the top 10 QBs of the past decade.
Go on and rate it.
That's right. 2010 to 2019.
I have a family. They're in the house. That's funny. Actually, they might not be in the house. They may be gone.
Yeah, and if they are in the house, they're all upstairs.
They know I'm rating stuff anyway. They know. Yeah. They all know.
But, I mean, it's been a quiet week, so I believe that does cover it for our not-so-breaking off-season news.
Not-so-breaking off-season news.
Now, I don't believe we have any business that we have to handle this week.
Nope, no business, but we should ask for business or offer our services for business. How's that sound?
Yeah, I like it. If you want to any kind of help to get the word for your product out, we'll help.
We can increase sales by 0.00001%.
That's still more than what
That
you
is a promise right now.
and that's still more than what you had before.
So if you would like to, you can hit us up at Patrick and Matt up the gut at gmail.com. That's PatrickMattupThegut at gmail.com.
It would have the gut at Gmail, but someone already had that.
And we've been kind of doing a twofer. So given it's something that we can taste and you sponsor the show, we will give you a up the gut taste stuff. We'll do an episode where we taste it. So
we don't do it every Sunday yet, but so far every other Sunday we've gotten one knocked out.
we only missed one, and that was because I was being lazy and I didn't have my maw and I was not prepared.
That's a Sunday. Sunday is supposed to be the lazy day anyway. It's supposed to be the day of rest. From when
It is. But that maw was delicious. I had some, by the way, to get amped up for the show. So if you haven't had the maw, get the maw. I think we're looking at possibly getting them on as a sponsor. If not, we're going to try to partner with them, and then when you guys buy stuff, it helps us. So we'll see how that goes. I think Matt's working on it. So
yeah, no business we have to take care of this week, but
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you the official quarterback of Up the Gut.
That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. I don't care what they all say. That's right. I'ma do this thing my way. Let's go. Been grinding hard on it all day. Okay. We work hard, then we all play. Yeah. I'm addicted to the grind, man. That's right. So I refuse to waste time, man.
champion.
That's actually perfect. Well, he's never been a champion, but
No,
that's actually perfect timing because that's what I was going to lead into.
I thought so. Like, I can't let you introduce it every time because then the whole we interrupting thing doesn't count.
No, that was perfect timing. I wish we could hit like that every week.
Yes, it's tough because here pretty soon, hopefully though, you'll have control and then you'll be able to do it and you can interrupt me all you want.
But yeah, Fitzmagic is our official quarterback, whether he knows it or not.
Someday he will know it. Oh, speaking of the Dolphins, which he isn't on, but he was at the time of the video. Happy birthday to one Blake Ferguson of the Miami Dolphins. He probably won't see this either, but it is what it is.
He might his cool brother might show him. Who knows?
That's assuming he'd watch this too. Hey, they got a podcast. What is it? After the Snap with the Ferguson brothers?
I don't know. They didn't have a name for it when he was on here.
No, I follow them on. We follow him on Twitter, and they have announced that it's After the Snap.
Okay.
Which probably is better than Snapping to Success, but we're on the same page.
Yeah.
So check it out.
They're long snappers. It had to do something with the snap.
100%. Like it had to be there, but check it out. They're I don't think it's started quite yet, but it has been announced. They're just getting show topics ready to go, so I'm sure it's going to be good. I've only performed one interview, but he seemed like a really good interview, like really good with his talking, with his speech.
Yeah.
And I imagine Blake's probably not too different. We may find out sometime if he'll come on the show.
I would love that.
I should probably just write. Actually, I did read because I'm trying to get a hold of his beer. He has a beer named after him.
I did not.
Mr. Nice Guy Beer from Frontline Brewery in Buffalo.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to get some. Yeah. I want to do taste stuff on that, but I don't want to bother him because these are busy guys, and I'm just a random podcast. So, football show. Anyway,
we could take the audio from this and make it a podcast.
We could, but I like the football show part. I mean, if you guys want to listen to us in podcast form,
let us know.
Send us a message. Comment on it.
That'd be the best thing you do. That's why we ask you to leave comments so we can learn stuff like that.
Yeah, we're going to get more. And actually, Matt and I were talking about it because we're eventually going to be recording this in the same room. So, how would you like to see that? I asked Matt the same thing. Is it desk like like an ESPN News? Is it couches like between two ferns? How are we doing this?
Do we need ferns like in between two ferns?
No. I do have a palm tree though. It's real. We'll put it in between us. We'll just call it a palm tree in between. I actually thought it almost might be worth a name change. No. I mean, I love Up the Gut, but something with Matt and Patrick. Like we got this thing going, man. We're starting a dynasty here. Anyway. I'm sorry.
That's fine. But yes, official quarterback. If you want to be a sponsor, got that covered.
Mhm.
Did our Not So Breaking Off-Season news, so I reckon it may be time to rate some stuff.
God, I love this.
Go on and rate it!
Still our best intro video.
Go on and rate it!
I have abilities. So, God,
I thought you were gonna hit it. I thought you were gonna hit it for a third time.
No. Sorry, that was funny to me. All right, the top 10 quarterbacks of the last decade. Now, what are the rules on this, Matt? For you, because we're up the gut. We kind of do whatever we want as far as the rules. So I had actually expressed the way I was going to do it to him. And I could tell in his face that like it didn't make sense. So I'm just curious how you put yours together. What was the way you did this?
I just feel like if we're gonna do it for the 2010s, I figure they got to at least put 5 years into that decade. At least 5. Maybe not play the entire decade, but if they put 5 good years in, then I think they could qualify for your list. If so, but
then Patrick Mahomes wouldn't qualify for your list. Josh Allen wouldn't qualify for your list.
Not for the best quarterbacks of the 2010s.
Okay,
but
see,
in the future, when we do them for the 2020s, absolutely.
See, and that's what's funny about our list, and that's why our list will differ so much. Because the way I looked at it is the reason I wanted to do the top 2 of this specific decade, and we could even do one from 2000 to 2010, but similar rule set has been in place almost the entire time. And we probably could have gone back to about 2000. I don't know exactly when the rules started changing, but it's kind of an equal playing field for those quarterbacks. So the way I did it, the way I put mine in here is if they started at least one game in that decade, they're allowed on my list. And I took in their whole body of work, not just what would happen in that decade. So Patrick Mahomes started at the end of the decade. I think he had 1-2 seasons in there?
Yeah.
2?
Yeah.
So he can make my list.
Yeah, and I'm only taking what they did in that decade.
See, and that's what cracks me up about you and I, just how we work. So our list will have a lot of the same people because they're all similar quarterbacks, but you just have the outliers right on each end of them.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that makes that big of a difference. Mr. Matt, would you like to start?
I can start us.
All right. Well,
10.
My number 10 spot is Andrew Luck.
He didn't make my list, and I have reasons, but I want you to explain why he made yours.
Because for the few years he played, like 6 years, he played well. The problem is he got hurt a lot. And so he missed a lot of time, and he eventually had to retire early. But he was definitely turning the Colts around in his time there. There's no doubt about that. He had everything he needed to be great, but the reason he's number 10 on my list is because he didn't get to play long enough to reach all his potential. So he didn't get to put in that much of a body of work.
And that's exactly why he didn't make mine. He was an extremely talented quarterback. There's no doubt. Could have been on the list. 10 was – I have so many honorable mentions because 10's where you put that one that maybe shouldn't be there, but you want to make a point. So Andrew Luck could have been. He definitely was on my radar, but I just thought that in that time he did great things, but he just – between injuries and then, because of injuries retiring early, he just couldn't make my list. So my number 10.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you the official quarterback of UpGut.
It's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Nice.
As I said, the 10's at 1, and is Ryan Fitzpatrick a dominant quarterback? No. But like I told Matt, with as many teams as he's been on over that period of time, especially, the work he's put in, having that ability as a transition quarterback like he's been for so many teams, where he can keep you afloat and do some good things, and then all the while having to learn all these different offensive schemes, get chemistry with all these different, that takes a talent all its own. So do not downplay what Ryan Fitzpatrick is. He is an amazing quarterback. #Fitz Pro Bowl. and he is my number 10 of the top 10 quarterbacks of the 2010s.
All right.
9.
I didn't want to put this one on the list. I didn't.
You didn't want to?
I didn't want to. I didn't want to put this guy on the list.
Who is it?
Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay. Yeah.
I couldn't leave him off because he has been really good.
Right.
He's been a really good quarterback, and he's still a really good quarterback. Just something about him, I didn't want to put him there. And people are going to be like, well, he always has these good these receivers. You know, he had Antonio Bryan, he had Mike Wallace, he had whoever, Antonio Brown, whoever
Juju.
else he has, Juju. But these were all like second round picks. It's not like these guys were lighting up the world, and it's not like they've all lit up the world afterwards.
I mean, he also had he had Hines Ward.
Yeah.
He had there's another one I'm thinking of.
There's that tight end he had for a while that was really good. But yeah, so I mean, he had good, but
he never had, other than Antonio Brown, he never had anyone who was ever considered elite at that position.
Yeah, and he did good. I mean, he did. So I felt that he deserved a spot on this list. It's hard to put some of these names up here that I did and leave him off.
Sure.
So, what's your number 9?
My number 9 was Cam Newton.
Oh, fuck you.
I know lately he's been.
I've never liked Cam Newton. He's always had an accuracy problem.
I know lately he's been kind of bad. But
listen, there's an argument to be made for everybody. I apologize.
But before the injuries, before all the drama, before it felt like he went crazy, he was really good. And it's because he was a Lamar Jackson type of quarterback. He was dangerous on the run, so you couldn't just.
But he was way bigger than Lamar.
Yeah.
He wouldn't just juke you, he would truck you.
Yes, he's much harder to tackle. But when he was at the top of his game, he was very dangerous. I mean, his best season, 2015, 35 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 3,800 passing yards, 10 rushing touchdowns to put on top of that. And the Panthers went 15-1. He choked in the Super Bowl. You know, I saw him duck away from that fumble, but
self-preservation.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense in the Super Bowl because you don't have a game next week. You have all off season to recover. That is the one game you have to put everything on the line to win.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean, he clearly didn't make my list. But you know, the one thing I do say is like we throw some hate towards some people. And like the hate I throw towards Tom Brady, the hate I throw at Cam Newton, I want you guys to understand that's hate in the game. Because I think in general, Tom Brady is actually a really good dude. I think that Cam Newton probably is a really good dude. I mean, I watched him. He puts on these youth camps. I assume he's a really good dude. So I don't want people to get confused. I don't hate Cam Newton the person. I just hate Cam Newton the quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
I feel you. But no, in the 2010, he was at his best, and before he went off that cliff, he was dangerous.
He was not what I mean. Just like Lamar Jackson wouldn't make my list, he wouldn't either. So, before you start, I just want to say if we match up on anything on this list, I will be amazed because you've already had, pardon me, 2 people that aren't even on my list. I have at least 1, if not 2.
Well, see, we were close because at number 8, I put Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay, see, we're getting there. And number 8, okay, go ahead, explain your Ben Roethlisberger real quick. It shouldn't take too long.
Same as you, during he got a Super Bowl in the 2010s. He played really good quarterback until the last few years of the decade. Getting a little older, starting to get banged up. But
that Browns game is probably the reason he made my list, just because everything went wrong in the first 5 minutes and they were down 82 points. And he just proceeded to go for 900 yards, 18 touchdowns. And he gave up. And the dude, he cried at the end. He was so devastated because he put everything. What Cam Newton didn't do, he did.
Yeah, no, Ben Roethlisberger never gives up on a game. He always thinks they can win it.
And I like that. I put Russell Wilson
at 8.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I thought he'd be a little higher on your list.
No,
he'd make your list, but I thought he'd be higher.
If you listen to me talk, I thought the beginning of this last year that Russell Wilson was going to prove me wrong, but I always said that he's a good quarterback, but he just doesn't have that. There's always something about him that I just said, that's not what I would want as my quarterback, but then I thought about it. He went to like, what did he win 2 or
He went to 2.
Went to 2, won 1, lost 1. Has the yards, and the reason I knocked him down to here is because he was starting to prove me wrong at the beginning of last year, and he had the best numbers in the NFL, and then he just maybe it's because he's getting sacked all the time, whatever reason.
I think that's a big part of it.
But that is why he fell on my list. But I couldn't leave him off. He's like Ben. I didn't really want to put him up there because I'm not a fan of him. And I got turned off of Seattle because of all the bandwagon fans because of him winning Super Bowls. But there's certain talent you can't deny. So that's why he made my list.
Yeah.
Who do you got? Oh, well, you already did 8. So now it's
now we're at 7.
You're starting 7.
7.
That's you, right? Yeah, because
No, I did 10 and 8.
No, you got even. So I did Tom Brady
at 7.
Yeah,
this is where I put Phillip Rivers.
Ooh, so I put Tom Brady here. I don't want to talk much about him because I didn't want to put him on the list. There's a lot of these guys I don't want to put on the list, but I mean he has enough Super Bowls that you can't not put him on there. So basically, I knew he would be on the list somewhere, and I just started shifting people around. And I think that people above him have more talent. And some of them will end up being better overall. Fucking Jennifer. My wife commented, Tom Brady.
I mean, did she see your list?
No. I just made this like 10 minutes ago. Or 10 minutes before we started the show. Listen, I know what I know about football. That wasn't going to change, so I knew where I'd put him. It's just a little bit of shuffling. Phillip Rivers, I thought he would be higher, but I understand why he's not.
Honestly, I was flip-flopping between him and Roethlisberger at the 7 and 8 spot.
If he had a Super Bowl, would he be 3 spots higher at least?
I think he'd be top 5 if he had the Super Bowl.
Okay.
But the only reason I have him just above Roethlisberger is because I feel like he put up some similar numbers to Roethlisberger, but with less around him,
I mean, he had LaDainian for a time and Vincent Jackson, and which did he pass away?
I don't think he had LaDainian throughout the 2010s. And again, that's all I'm basing it on is that decade's body of work.
Okay. But and then Keenan Allen. He had Antonio Gates in there. So, I mean, he had some people, but
he had Antonio Gates. I'll give you that. But that's I don't. It was a young.
He
Keenan
did
Allen.
play a playoff game with 0 ACLs too. Like everything was torn, gone.
Yeah, but no, LaDainian was pretty much gone because in 2011 he was in the playoffs with the Jets.
I know what he would say if he saw that you put him at what number 7?
Flipping, dadgummit!
I think he'd just be happy to be on the list.
I do like that we've integrated so many different players into it. I want. Let's see. We got the official quarterback. We got flip that guy. I want some non-quarterback to watch this and be the guy that says, I want a segment on your show and I will give it to you. Next NFL player that sees this and says, I want a segment, I will find you something. And we will make a segment and you'll be the official person of that segment, whatever you want.
But it has to be a non-quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, if I will give any NFL player that gets it, but I'd prefer non-quarterback.
Yeah, just to change it up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want it to seem because quarterbacks, they get a lot of attention anyway, so it's about time we went somewhere else. Like I would like a center or a punter, like Tyler Bass is kicking it up, and we're like, this is what's up this week. Yeah, we'll come up with something.
Yeah.
So,
but no, Rivers put up similar numbers to Roethlisberger, so I was kind of flipping back and forth at 7 and 8. Honestly, they could be interchangeable, those numbers. But Phillip Rivers is, again, real consistent, just didn't have a lot of luck come playoff time, which continued for his 1 year in Indianapolis. And that's just the big stigma of his whole career is like Phillip Rivers will give you a good performance through the regular season. When it comes time for the playoffs, he just couldn't get you anything.
Stuff just happened.
Yeah. And I think it's mostly the Chargers' curse. I mean, I don't think last year was the year for the Colts anyway, but I don't know if the Chargers will ever win anything during either of our lifetimes.
So I believe my dad's watching because he just told me Lenny Dawson, number 7. I don't think he caught what the segment was, but that's
if
okay.
Len Dawson played in the 2010s, I would have put him at number 1 just because he was still there. How old would Len Dawson have been in 2010?
Yeah. So for those of you just now getting on, we are rating the top 10 quarterbacks of the 2010s, and Matt is working off different rules than I am because we just pick our own rules because that's how we work.
Yeah.
Matt's doing the body of work that happened from 2010 to 2020. I'm working with if you played one game or you started one game in the 2010, 2020, I take your whole body of work and include it in. So that means that I know I have at least 2 more people on my list that Matt does not have. And that was 7. So you're starting the evens.
Wait, real quick.
Okay.
If Len Dawson had played even one game in the beginning of the 2010s, he'd have been 75. And if he was 75 playing quarterback,
He'd be number 1 on my list.
100%. How could he not?
Yeah. So Len Dawson is an honorable mention from the comments. And apparently so is Bo Jackson. Yeah. And he didn't start watching until after we were going. So
Bo Jackson wasn't even a quarterback.
that is awesome. So we're going with you got evens.
Here's a shocker. At number 6, I have Tony Romo.
Ooh. No, I wanted to put him in there. I did, but I couldn't. So why Tony Romo?
Because here's the thing. A lot of people, me included for a little while, really dumped on that guy. And because
I never did.
It took a while for me to really learn how to see the whole scope of everything. And because every time when he played for the Cowboys and I watched the Cowboys lose, it's because he did something wrong. Fumbling that snap for the kick in the playoff game, throwing the one pick in that shootout with Peyton Manning when they lost like 51-45 or something like that. Every time I saw them lose, he had something to do with it because it was a mistake he made towards the end of the game. When you look at his totality of his body of work, he was actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even just borderline elite. I don't know if he quite broke that ceiling, but he was so much better than I initially gave him credit for.
He was definitely top half of the league, and that's what I try to tell people because this is the quarterbacks in Buffalo from 2010 to 2020.
Oh, man. This is going to be a list.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, Trent Edwards, Brian Braum, Emmanuel, Thad Lewis, Jeff Toole, Kyle Orton, Tyrod Taylor, Nathan Peterman, Josh Allen, Derek Anderson, Matt Barkley. They all started games in that territory.
I remember Nathan Peterman.
And other than Fitzpatrick at the time, whenever Tony Romo was playing, Nathan Peterman, I think, is still a backup in Oakland. Anyway, Ryan Fitzpatrick's about the only one I would have taken over Romo. And he's pretty equivalent to Romo as far as the gunslinger, do what you got to do type of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, here's the crazy thing. Tony Romo is in the top 10 all time in quarterback rating. He's number 9 on the list.
No, I enjoyed watching him play. I didn't like that he played for the Cowboys, but Tony Romo, I enjoyed watching him play. He was one of those risk everything to win a game type of guys.
And again, he only put like 5-6 years into the decade. He retired in 2016.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had like a punctured lung, broken back, and
he got hurt a lot too. Yes,
there at the end, he got hurt in training camp with I think that was his lung thing. So
yeah, but look at some of the people he's ahead of on the all-time QB's rating list. He's ahead of Steve Young. Mm-hmm. He's ahead of Peyton Manning. He's ahead. Wow. He's ahead of our boy Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger. But
you do have to factor in the whole end result type of thing. He may have the numbers, but you got to factor in the games too. And when you do bumble and fumble and blow stuff,
that's what I say. He wasn't clutch. And
but since you mentioned him, I won't have to mention him later. He is an honorable mention. So
yeah, but that is my number 6.
My number 6 is Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. And I get it. He's only been in the league a few years, but he's got 2 years into the decade, and since he's got here, he's been nothing but amazing. Yeah,
and that's why I couldn't do. I mean, the 50 touchdown, 900,000 yard season, 2 Super Bowl appearances. It was a 3 AFCs in a row.
Yep.
He has been good. So
he's already got an MVP.
But whenever people watching, if anybody's watching, they're like, "Oh, he should have been higher." Patrick Mahomes is so good. He's got 3 years. We can't put him above. I couldn't put him above anybody ahead of him because he needs it. There is a chance that he could get injured tomorrow and he has no career. There is a chance that he could just say, "I have a baby. I'm going to preserve myself. I'm never going to play again." None of that's likely, but you can't. I couldn't put him any higher on the list than that.
Yeah. But he has everything he needs. He has the coaching, he has the team around him, and he has the skills to, if he keeps tracking the way he does, to retire as the greatest quarterback ever.
So long as Kansas City gets some freaking tackles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Hold on, I lost my mouse. I got too many screens. You ready to move on?
Well, who's your number? Oh yeah, that was your number 6.
That was my number 6.
Number 5.
5.
And I believe I start odds, and no surprise here, Philip Rivers. I love what Philip Rivers does. I love Philip Rivers as a person. I love Philip Rivers going 16 years or whatever he does. He was 04, so 17 years in an NFL career and not uttering a single curse word, but being known as the mouthiest quarterback in the league. I love his play. I love that when he throws, he looks like he doesn't know what a football is. I just love Phil Rivers, but at the same point in time, I couldn't put him above anybody ahead of him. So
he has that Andy Griffith kind of trash talk.
We already talked about him once on the list, so I'm not going to go any farther. But I do love me some Philip Rivers.
And this is where I put Tom Brady. I put him at 5.
I thought you'd go higher than me, but I did think you'd make your list because, unlike some people, we can hate people and still have them on our list.
Yeah, we
can still respect what happens, and we can still look at numbers and say, "Damn you, Tom Brady, you're on my list."
And it's less about his quarterback play, which is still good, but there's always a few people who just at a pure skill level of the position are better. But as a businessman and a team player, nobody's better than Tom Brady.
Yeah, and the reason he was farther down on my list is, he's won Super Bowls, but his defense has been top 10, top 5 every time. And a lot of these other people that make it there with the good offenses have no defense. So that's the reason that he is smart. He knows how to – that's why he went to Tampa. We've explained it time and time again. I never said Tom Brady was stupid. I never said Tom Brady was a bad guy. I just think Tom Brady is a slightly above average quarterback. He is above average. Slightly above average quarterback that puts himself in the right situations and won Super Bowls.
I'll say he's a pretty good quarterback because he still has to make some throws that a good handful of quarterbacks can't make. Plus, I like the way he takes care of himself. That's why he's still doing this at 43.
Are you going to join the TB12 movement of getting fit and healthy and play into your 90s?
I want to get fit, but I'm not going to spend money on that TB12 garbage.
If Tom Brady plays till he's 75, I'll put him number 1 on the list.
I mean, at that point, you have to. If he starts past 45, I might have to.
That's
not
true.
Not just still in the league sitting on a bench at 45. I'm talking about starting quarterback, playing playoff football at 45. I'll hand it to him. I still won't think he's the best at playing the position, but I will definitely give him the best at, his knowledge of his craft, his work ethic, and his business acumen. That's what I like the most about Tom Brady. And that's why I got him at 5.
If he didn't have enough Super Bowl rings to fill up most of both his hands, I wouldn't have put him in this list at all.
Nobody would.
I couldn't keep him off for that reason. We moving on to evens?
Yep, number 4.
And that's you, right? Or is that me?
Yep, that's me.
Okay.
4.
This is where I got Russell Wilson.
Wow, that's high up.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I'm only looking at the 2010, 2020. And he had a good decade. Especially when he had the Legion of Boom on the opposite side of the football from him.
He did have a good decade.
Those are his best years.
But there's someone in my top 3 that you won't have. I guarantee it.
Probably.
Maybe even 2, actually.
But Russell himself has never had a bad year as far as pure numbers wise. The only reason it seems like he falls off is that as the years have gone on since their second Super Bowl appearance, he's lost more and more players to help him.
Oh yeah, that was going to happen whenever we start taking contracts.
I mean, but even like they never replenish though. Like they haven't had a defense that's even come close to the Legion of Boom since they were together.
That was a good defense.
His offensive line has gotten worse and worse as time has gone on. He has a couple of good receivers, but
yeah, Tyler Locke's good. DK Metcalf's really good.
That's about it. Other than that,
I mean,
he has to carry that offense, and with the offensive line that's towards the bottom of the league,
and he can drop some dimes too.
Absolutely, he's a very accurate passer, but without protection, he doesn't have time to set up those kind of throws, and he has to carry that offense because they haven't had a great running game since beast mode.
No, that's true. They've had good running backs that get injured, and then I think they've hit like third, fourth down the depth chart before on those running backs. So
yeah.
My number 4. Are you ready? Okay, go ahead.
Just because that's why I got number 4 is because he might not have the best numbers or had the same playoff success as he did when he first started, but it's because the team has gotten worse around him, but he's still been playing at an elite level.
I think I could probably predict your top 3.
Maybe.
I think I could.
But who you got number 4?
I have I found a reason to bring back Breeze Watch. Drew Brees. I was watching for him. I put him at number 4.
All right. That's respectable. Yeah. Absolutely.
And just because I couldn't put him above the other ones, the 3 ahead of him, just couldn't do it. So super talented, great career. The last year wasn't maybe his best, but I'm not going to hold that against him. He was the first consistent 5,000-yard quarterback. Did it for like 38 years straight. Good dude.
And the crazy part is he's only 6 foot tall, so he couldn't see
over. He's like 5'10", 5'11". Don't let him fool you with those numbers.
So he couldn't see over his offensive lineman.
He does the whole Flutie, where after he throws the ball, he has to jump over the offensive lineman to see if he completed it. So I don't need to talk a whole bunch about Brees because I have a feeling he's going to be your number 3. Just guessing. And so we'll have plenty of time to talk about him. But, I mean, she moves like Drew Brees.
If only Drew Brees could have moved a little better, I don't think he'd have been so beat up those last few years.
Well, things happen. He gets older, but still one of the most accurate.
He was never a mobile quarterback, though.
He's always a pocket passer.
Yes.
So, who's your... No, I'm odd.
Yes, you are.
Son of a bitch. Well, my number 3 is Aaron Rodgers.
3?
I couldn't put him above the other 2.
I believe you could, but the Packer fan in me is going to take that as an insult. But let's hear your reasoning.
Really, honestly, he could be number 1, but my number 1 is who I believe is probably the greatest to ever play the position of all time. Number 2, I have the utmost respect for, and they have records. They have everything known to man. So I couldn't put him above that. So
I forget that you're not just going off that decade.
Yeah. So Aaron, no, I am, but everybody in here started in the 2010s.
But you're not taking just that decade.
No, I'm not. Just not that. And that's why we are going to have a different top 3. But he's still, I stand to say, even with Drew Brees as good as he is, the last, 3-4 years, I've said the best quarterback playing the game is Aaron Rodgers. He's superbly talented. He has had no help in getting, accompanying players to help him, and he still dominates. They could have taken any receiver in this they could have had Justin Jefferson, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember where they picked. They could have done it. They could have made it happen. They could have had so many receivers they could have drafted. They drafted a quarterback who probably wasn't even on the active roster 99% of the time. This guy still owned it. And then he goes on Jeopardy as a host and makes jokes about play calling. I love that guy. So
my number 3 for the 2010s. My number 3 is Peyton Manning.
Okay.
Again, it's only for the 2010s.
Yeah, you did it because he only had half the decade. I got you.
Well, not just that, but that last season was not his best season.
He was hurt for half of it. Came in. Yeah,
He
I gotcha.
He was. So that last season was his best season. They won that Super Bowl because of that defense. I'll be the first to say it.
We all know it.
But he was still driving the bus. He hit a lot of bumps, but he was driving that bus.
We're clearly going to talk about him here in a little bit from my side, but one of the reasons I've always said that he is as good as he is he's not just the quarterback. He is the offensive coordinator. He's got more offensive coordinators, head job coaches than anybody in the history of the world, and they never deserved it, and they never worked out.
Plus, every other play, he's calling an audible. No other quarterback changes.
And nobody has made Omaha tourism more attractive than Peyton Manning.
Yeah, nobody's had to change the play as often as he does, and it's worked out 9 times out of 10 for him.
No one has the knowledge of the game like Peyton Manning does.
No,
so
until that last season when he was all banged up, he was still crushing it from 2010 to 2014 or 15. He was still playing at an elite level, and it was pretty fun to watch.
And his game could have gone on forever because it was more knowledge than like ridiculous talent. Like kind of like when Brett Favre would throw the ball, he always looked like he threw out his shoulder.
Yeah.
It always looked like Peyton Manning couldn't throw the ball. He'd throw some ducks, man, but it was because he knew how to put people in the right positions.
Yeah.
It's almost like he was writing his own playbook at the start of the play. I don't mean to steal your thunder. This is your Peyton Manning stuff.
I mean, well, in the 2010s is when he had that 55 touchdown season.
Mm-hmm.
And that's crazy because he was already an older man coming back from neck surgery on a new team.
Mm-hmm.
But 55 touchdowns, almost 5,500 passing yards.
Was that Demaryius Thomas and Eric Decker and Julius Thomas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
that was when they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Legion of Boom.
It just cracks me up. And that was like the Steelers Browns. Everything went wrong in the first 2 minutes, and that Super Bowl couldn't get back on track.
On that very first play, but they never recovered like the Steelers did.
No, but
I called that game. As good as the Broncos were going in, I said they never that whole season played a defense like Legion of Boom. Wasn't even close. No. And so, boy, they showed him.
The one thing there's lots of comparisons about Peyton Manning and Tom Brady because they always were right up against each other, fighting, clawing. So they're always compared. And I always said the difference is Tom Brady had stars around him, people with names that were super talented, and Peyton Manning made stars out of people. And when they went to another team, they were Peyton Manning's when the receivers or tight ends would go somewhere else, nothing would happen. What happened to Julius Thomas? That dude was so good with Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he did anything afterwards. Like I know he went to another team, but then he just fell off the map. Or maybe he's still playing. I don't know because he's not effective anymore.
Well, not a whole lot of receivers leave New England and crush it anywhere else. I mean, Welker did, but Welker went to go play with Peyton Manning.
That's true. But Randy Moss was extremely talented, and if I had a list of them, I could make an argument for a lot of New England receivers.
New England,
and it was always slot receivers and running backs in New England anyway.
Well, yeah. Randy Moss was the only true deep threat New England ever had, but Randy Moss was already a bona fide Hall of Famer when he went to New England.
Well, you got to remember he was great in Minnesota, and then he decided he didn't want to play in Oakland. Yeah. Then he ended up in New England and got happy again. And that's between Gronk, Welker, Edelman, and Randy Moss. Tom Brady became a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So
Randy Moss is the only reason he threw 50 touchdowns that season because Randy Moss caught damn near half of them.
Yeah, no, he broke the record too. So anyway, that was that just saves me time later on my Peyton Manning talk. We had 2,
but yes.
Are you ready to go 2?
Yep.
2.
I always feel so bad when I interrupt you with those.
It'll be easier when we actually sit next to each other. I think.
Yeah, and I'll give you control here pretty soon, so then you can do it.
But number 2, I have Drew Brees.
Made it a lot higher up on your list. I could have swore you'd be 3, but I expected Peyton Manning to be 2.
If Peyton Manning could have played more of the decade and give me a bigger body of work at that level, he would have been.
I understand it. I get your so go ahead and tell me about Drew Brees.
Drew Brees is another guy who did a lot of work with not a lot of talent around him. He had some stars towards the end, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
But
and who was his tight end that he made great that fell off the map? I think he's in the Bears now.
Yes. Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah. Although Jimmy Graham is playing better for the Bears now than he did the 3 years he got to play there in Rodgers.
Well, he didn't play because I believe he went from New Orleans to Seattle, and he didn't do much there either. So, but he is starting to make a little bit of a comeback.
Yeah. I thought he was going to make a comeback in Green Bay, but no, he's pretty much useless. But anywho, he hasn't had a whole lot of stars, but he was so consistent until these last couple of years when injuries just started to pile up, along with age. Because he's also dipped into his 40s before he retired. But he proved that a good defense makes a great quarterback elite, because the only year they won the Super Bowl was when they had a top 10 defense. And other than that, a lot of the decade, he played with a very bad defense.
No kidding. And Drew Brees, again, we mentioned it. He did it all at 6 foot. He was the guy that made short quarterbacks an option. He paved the way for Russell Wilson. He paved the way for Chase Daniels, who has made more money more money per pass than anybody in the history of the world.
He has, but he's never been a true starter.
No, I think he could have, but at the same time, kind of like Joe Flacco, he wants to help, mentor. That's where he's at. That's what he wants to do.
But Flacco at least got to start.
That's true. Flacco was amazing at one point.
And I want Chase Daniels to do great because I want one quarterback to come out of Missouri and be amazing.
It'll happen.
We haven't had that yet.
Ooh, I haven't said my two yet. This is the game changer.
Okay.
You guess? I feel like you can guess, but I don't think you will. Dig deep, Ahlers. I see it. I see it in your face. You want to say it. Say it.
The crappy thing is, I think it's your guy in Buffalo now, but I'm blanking on his name.
Josh Allen?
Yes. No.
I like that you did that. But come on, you know my fandom. I love Josh Allen. But
the only other
if he made my list, he would have been farther down.
The only other Bills quarterback that I know that you liked was Doug Flutie. He didn't play in the 2010.
No, the only one technically Ryan Fitzpatrick was the quarterback for the Bills in the 2010s, and he made my list. So, but I did it more off his body of work than just his time in Buffalo.
Right.
And that's the thing. I listed off the Buffalo quarterbacks. There's no one really I could put in there. So,
and you already put Peyton Manning. No, Peyton Manning's going to be your number one.
Yeah, you'd think, right?
I mean, you're right, because you already said Patrick Mahomes. You already said Aaron Rodgers. You already said Tom Brady.
This is the one, and this is why it's a game changer.
Okay.
He literally played 1 year in the 2010s, and I invoked his entire career.
Who?
Brett Favre.
Really? Oh, yeah.
2011. He was that 2010 season. 1 year in there. That was my parameters.
You think he's better than Drew Brees?
I do. You got to understand how much I love Brett Favre and how much I love what Brett Favre did, the way he played the game, the way he was doing it at his age, the way he broke the records. I just love the way that guy worked.
I did too, but
incredibly talented.
As far as pure quarterback play, I don't think he's better than Drew Brees.
No, I think he is. I think that Drew Brees is extremely good. He's a 5,000 guy. Yeah. But when it comes down to what is offered to a team, I just like Brett Favre better.
Brett Favre is definitely more fun to watch.
I like everything about Brett Favre, and that's why he went on my list.
And Brett Favre was definitely tougher, still the toughest quarterback to ever play. That's for sure.
He had so many records whenever he retired.
Yes.
And he's going to lose a lot of them to Manning, Brady. He's lost some to Manning and Brady.
He's already lost
Drew Brees,
except for his consecutive
starts.
That's it. And that one might never be broken, at least not by quarterback.
And just again, his he's Southern, but his Midwestern attitude about toughness that allowed him to do those starts, the gunslinger in him, the yards, just everything about Brett Favre. Actually, I will tell you that I got another text from my brother because my dad did the group text.
Right.
And Samuel said, "Forget Lenny Dawson, Brett Favre for life." I just said, "Keep watching." So that's why he made my list. I mean, I knew you wouldn't put him on there because that last year wasn't his best year. He couldn't even finish due to the concussion protocol.
It was so bad.
It really was. But it doesn't matter. That 1 year invoked his entire career.
And I want to remind people, because you're going to listen to these names and be like, how can they be so far off? Our lists have different parameters.
100%. That's what I tried to lay out at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
We don't follow the same rules because I'm not going to tell Matt how to judge his. Now, if you guys want us to sit down and go and you guys want to lay down some parameters, we can stick to those.
Then comment.
But it's not like anything's coming to this. This isn't deciding who's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
This isn't anything but for our entertainment, trying to entertain you. So I want to rate stuff the way I want to rate stuff, and I want Matt to rate stuff the way he wants to rate stuff. It just goes to show how everybody looks at the game different.
Yeah.
And we didn't match up on a single flipping one.
Well, when your lists have different parameters, it's a lot harder to match up.
It is true. But at the same time, I told you we wouldn't match up on one.
Yeah.
I mean, that was to be expected. Are we good to move to one?
Yes.
And I'm starting one.
You are starting
One.
So your number one quarterback of all time who has started the game in the 2010s is...
I want you to understand how much I love this guy and what he's done for the game and how he's able to manage, especially the hate that comes his way.
Is it not Peyton Manning?
It's Joe Flacco.
God.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It is Peyton Manning.
Of course it is. It has to be.
You know, even if you went all time, Peyton Manning may end up my number one. His knowledge of the game, what he's able to do. I said it whenever you put Peyton Manning. I said so much because of how I feel what he brought to the game. He was every bit. He was probably the most. He should have been MVP almost every year he played because he did everything he could for his team. He was so knowledgeable. It wasn't just, oh, I need to run this play. I need to throw the ball here. No, it's like, no, that's not going to work. This defense does this. We're going to switch this. And he did all that in the huddle. That dude's stupid good at what he does. So Peyton Manning is clearly my number one. We all knew this going in. You knew this going in.
Yeah. Yeah, Peyton Manning is arguably the best to ever play the position as far as pure skill and knowledge of the game. Yes.
Oh, yes.
But my number one quarterback of just the 2010s, of just that decade, the best body of work within that 10 years is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, you're a Packers fan, and he couldn't even beat the Seahawks or the 49ers or any running game at all.
He doesn't play defense.
I'm playing with you. I just want to do that. I can't argue your number one. I knew he'd be your number one.
Between 2010 and 2019, who played better? I get Tom Brady was more successful, but again, that's a team thing. But as pure quarterback play for that 10-year span, who played better?
I'd say the last 4 years, maybe 5, at least 4. I'd said he's the best player in the game right now. But no, I mean,
I'll say that the past 3 years, I have said that Mahomes is the best playing in the game right now. But within that 10 years, nobody was better at just pure quarterback play.
I mean, I can't argue it. I understand there's an argument to be made, and a lot of this stuff at the top is splitting hairs, especially when you don't have the same parameters. But I mean, if I didn't put Brett Favre on the list, Aaron Rodgers was number 2. So I understand where you could do that. I figured that Peyton Manning should have beat Drew Brees out in your list just for knowledge of the game because they're both really good quarterbacks. But what Peyton did with offensive coordinators and not being with Sean Payton, he had different coaches. He had different coordinators. You know, he had a coordinator leaving every year, and he had to reteach this guy how to be a Peyton Manning system. So,
and he came back from a worse injury because when he got his neck hurt in Indy, people weren't sure if he was going to play again at all.
Yeah, I mean, they moved on from him. I mean, I get why they did. It was Andrew Luck. And I thought they were going to be set for the next 15 years with Andrew Luck, but, you know, things happen. They have done okay since then. They got Carson Wentz now, who I think will have a lot better. I think, Indy fans are not nearly as mean and as Philly fans.
No, but I don't know if anybody is.
So I think he won't have near that, and I think Frank Wright is really good for – anyway. We can get to that stuff eventually. We'll get in plenty of that in the season.
Oh, well, yeah, when the season starts.
Man, we may be going for 4 hours a night. Just buckle up.
No, we'll find a way to cut it down, but there'll be a lot more talk.
Enjoy. Hold on. Is that it? Is that all? Do you have more to say about Aaron Rodgers?
Just, I hope, with the way things are going now, I hope we figure something out that we can keep him and he retires a Packer. But if Green Bay keeps wanting to be hard-headed, then I hope Aaron Rodgers goes somewhere to start and it's someone that plays against us, so we can see what we lost out on.
I believe he could play for a lot longer than the Packers are betting on, because they've already started backing his heir apparent.
Yeah.
And Atlanta hasn't tried to replace Matt Ryan yet.
Well, again, I have deemed Atlanta as one of those franchises that is doomed to fail forever.
Oh, that won't happen forever. Matt Ryan really could have made this list too. He had good 2010s. And Joe Flacco almost was my number 10 too.
Matt Ryan
MVP.
Matt Ryan is an honorable mention.
So let's get into our honorable mentions real quick. Who do you have?
I got Matt Ryan because despite him playing a big part in giving away what should have been the easiest Super Bowl win probably ever, he's had really good numbers throughout the decade. He's won an MVP. He's played at an elite level, at least for part of it.
I like Matt Ryan. I really do. It's just since that 28-3 Super Bowl. Anyway. Anybody else in your honorable mentions?
For throughout 2010.
I'll help you out. I had Tony Romo for obvious reasons. We discussed it. I had Joe Flacco because, all jokes aside, he really was a talented quarterback in those 2010s. And his contract and the coaching messed him up. And the Baltimore coaching has a tendency not to focus in on their strengths or not focus in on what's right for the team, but just going after something. So I have Josh Allen because I really like what he does. I think he's great, but he just didn't play long enough in there. And his best season came last year, which was out of the 2010s. So
yeah.
And then I have Alex Smith because everybody loves Alex Smith. Say what you want.
Alex Smith has to be an honorable mention. Yeah.
Anything else you want to add in the whole quarterback realm?
I was kind of flip-flopping on making Carr an honorable mention because he started off, but he broke his leg twice. And
I like Carr, but he would be most likely, if he's going to make a list like this, it'd be the 2020s.
Hopefully,
I think he'll have more
going up for him. Now,
I think it's looking up for Carr.
If we had a list of quarterbacks who wore the best makeup on game day, I think he'd be number one.
I love his fucking eyeliner. Flipping eyeliner. Okay, so if you're watching this right now and or whenever it's archived, comment what list you want. We got the draft coming up, so we'll have some stuff to talk about, but we're going to have more rate stuff before football season starts. It's going to have to happen.
Or if you can think of a whole nother segment.
Yeah, or if you have something you want us to talk about in general.
Yeah.
It's not rating, but I prefer to rate stuff. I like to rate stuff. Let's rate it. Anyway, so comment that. Matt.
Yes.
Do you want to do the top 10 bust?
Ooh. Had to do some research on that one, but yeah, we could do the top 10 draft busts.
Because that one's going to be tough because, obviously,
I feel
whatever your parameters are. But, if,
just
Ryan Leaf, Marcus Russell, Aaron Maben,
Tony Mandarich.
Yeah. There's some stuff in there. And that's going to be a little more team specific because do you remember Aaron Maben?
I don't.
Yeah, I do. I don't remember whoever this Mandarich guy is. So
he was a little bit back in the day. I learned more about him because of history other than kind of
like what is that Blackburn or something that was the Chiefs quarterback drafted in that 84 draft class.
Yeah.
Instead of going for Dan Marino or Jim Kelly, they went for Tony Blackledge or something.
Yeah.
Of course, fans are going to hate me for that one. Anyway,
of course, it was a Tony.
Yeah, so it might not have been a Tony. Listen, I'm not a Chiefs fan, so I'm doing my best.
Yeah, I feel you.
So if that works, unless we see some comment come in that we're like, yeah, we got to do that one, we'll probably do top 10 draft bust next week. Otherwise, man, I think we just rated some stuff.
We did rate stuff, and it was fun, especially that we had two different kinds of lists to work with.
I kind of prefer that, to be honest. It's just it makes it funner for me because I don't know. It just does.
But now it's time, Patrick.
I don't want it to be time, but I love your intro into this.
But it has to be time.
Because as much more than the video package I play, your intro is far more important to me when it comes to this segment.
I mean, as we all know, for every up there is a down. For every light there is darkness. And now it's time for, despite all the positivity we just had, it's time for the most negative part of our show.
Flipping, dadgummit!
Once again, I'm a simple guy. Nothing this week has really happened to make me angry, but Patrick, El Pollo Loco, does have a flip and flip that guy.
I want to apologize. Well, I'm an angry guy, apparently. I'm just angry all the time. I'm going to apologize because it's slightly political, but mostly football related. I don't know. Maybe it's mostly political and slightly football related.
You need to go, you need to go big screen for this one?
You know what? I'll just go slightly bigger screen. How's that one sound? Slightly bigger screen. Actually, it's considerable bigger.
Tell the people what's got you down.
So flip and flip all those people who are hating on Brett Favre right now.
Because he was like, I just want to watch the game.
No, I don't think so. He is trending. Last I saw, number 2 trend on Twitter at the moment was Brett Favre. And why? Because Brett Favre had an opinion. And I'm tired of this shit where everybody thinks that you can't have an opinion. If you express something other than what they think, well, you're the worst person ever. I got into it with someone on Twitter last night because I made a joke at the Dolphins. It was funny. It was really funny. But these kids and their freaking timeouts that they learned when they were a kid don't understand what, wow, I didn't realize my light, which I can't even point at it. It's right there.
No, I see it.
Yeah, I didn't realize it made its way in. I must have moved my camera. Sorry. Anyway, they have no repercussions for the stupid shit they say. And so Brett Favre had an opinion. And I'm going to, it's about this is the political part of it. It's about the Derek Chauvin trial where he was just convicted. And I don't care what your beliefs on this thing are. You have one way or another. And yours may be stupid. It may not be. And if it's stupid, I'll tell you stupid, but I'm not going to say you're a horrible person. You should die for having an opinion. I will try to explain why I disagree with you. So Brett Favre says, I find it hard to believe, and I'm not defending Derek Chauvin in any way. I find it hard to believe, first of all, that he intentionally meant to kill George Floyd. That being said, his actions were uncalled for. I don't even agree with that statement. But does that seem very bad? Or does that just seem like someone stating an opinion?
I mean, to me, it sounds like just someone stating an opinion.
Yeah. You know what pops up on Twitter in the hashtag or in the trending Brett Favre?
Cancel Brett Favre.
I'm going to go with a up the gut censor, flip and flip Brett Favre.
Oh. I mean, it's catchy. I'll give him that.
Well, I mean, you realize the flip and flip is something else.
Oh, I know.
Brett Favre is a racist POS. Brett Favre is a racist POS. Always has been, always will be. Brett Favre's biggest accomplishment in life was being dumb enough to never take a day off from being a human ragdoll for 297 NFL games. His brain is scrambled eggs. No one with coherent, intelligent sense should be listening to him talk about anything not football related. How stupid can people be? Flip and flip Brett Favre. That's it. That's the tweet.
That's the whole tweet.
Brett Favre continues to prove he's a scumbag. Huge surprise. As a lifelong Packers fan, man, flip and flip Brett Favre. These are the tweets that are coming out because he said, man, I don't think he intentionally killed the guy. I don't even think he killed the guy. He was on 3 times the lethal limit of fentanyl. Fucking like falling down would have killed the motherfucker. Pardon me, the mother flipper. I just don't understand how someone's opinion differs from you and you hate them. I had a kid literally tell me that I was a piece of shit last night and I didn't hate him. I felt sorry for him because he doesn't understand what life is. He doesn't understand that followers and likes don't mean a shit in fucking real life. I don't understand you people nowadays. I don't understand why someone can't differ. That is how debates happen. That's how rational thought. That's how we come to a common ground. It's because we can talk about our opinions. But you guys just want to hate because someone differs from you because you can't defend your rationale. You can't defend your point of thought. You can't do anything except hate. So you know what? Everybody that's on Brett Favre right now,
Flipping, dadgummit!
and I do apologize if any of that was political because I want to focus on football.
Yeah, no, I get it, though. That's a heck of a backlash.
I just hate kids. And he literally said, dude, I think Derek Chauvin messed up. I just don't think he went into that thinking I'm going to kill a guy. And people said, flip Brett Favre for that. How stupid can you be? That is why we're all messed up in this world, because you guys can't even fathom someone that thinks different than you. And most of the time, you guys are the idiots.
It's just, I think it's just the society we live in now. We try so hard to avoid conflict.
It's the timeout generation. That's what it is. You
Well,
stop. Whenever you're not worried about someone punching you, we didn't have social media when we grew up.
No.
We didn't have the internet to hide behind. If you said something stupid, someone punched you in the mouth. So you watch what you said. That doesn't happen anymore. Kids can talk smack whenever they're. Some of them, can they back the shit up? Probably. Most of them, probably not.
It's not even the timeout generation. It's the safe space generation.
Safe space was created by timeouts. Listen, we all said whenever you started giving participation trophies, whenever you started doing timeouts, like you're going to mess up the kids. Guess what? Everybody was right. You messed up the kids. We have criminals being praised. We have criminals doing crimes and getting in trouble, and people are mad about it. Wait, stop it, Matt. That's too political.
I didn't do anything.
I just don't want you getting mad at Brett Favre. He had an opinion. That'd be like someone saying Tom Brady's the GOAT and me being like, flip you need to die in a ditch, which I actually think I saw that as about Brett Favre. Die in a ditch.
Yeah, that sounds about par for the course nowadays.
I don't understand it. Let's have some talks. You want to say that Brett Favre is racist for saying that? I will discuss that with you, but you won't discuss it because you can't defend your point.
To be fair, though, this does sound like something that would be.
Sorry.
This does sound like something that could be discussed further outside the narrative.
It really could. But outside the narrative has been on hiatus because I am a part of the show. I do not run the show. So
yeah,
it will eventually come back. I've heard that there's been some business dealings going on in the background. And so it kind of took a back seat, but it will be back. And when it is, I'll let you guys know on here.
That's okay, because even though that might take a hiatus, even though Wrestling in Review,
your weekly wrestling recap,
yeah, even though that one might have given me a little taste and then disappeared forever.
I do miss that one quite a bit, though.
We're not going anywhere.
No, we've stuck around. We went from podcast on the YouTube to a full-on football show.
That's right.
We're only going to get better, and eventually we'll be in the same place, and this will just be – I don't even think you guys can handle what will happen when that happens.
That's right, because much like Tom Brady, we have the work ethic. We want to do this for as long as possible.
We have beyond work ethic, and I have an endless supply of booze.
Unlike Tom Brady, we did not start doing this in our 20s. Like, looking back, I wish we would have.
Yeah, really, I wish we would have too. But
we're
it's
here
all right.
now.
Even though we only have 30 Twitter followers, and that's what the kid told me, I could care less.
That's still 30 more than what we started with.
Twitter is
and one of our followers is a national treasure.
That is true. Rachel Bush, if you happen to see this, you are a national treasure. And it's not because you're gorgeous. No. She is an attractive lady. But it's because she's willing to stand by her principles regardless of what anybody else thinks. She's willing to have those open discussions. She's willing to defend her opinion.
I didn't say why she's a national treasure. I just said she is a national treasure and should be protected at all costs.
She really should be. Jordan Poyer, too. I really like that guy.
Maybe
but if he doesn't retire a bill, I will be very, very upset.
It's rare nowadays to have a player play his whole career in one spot. It's not like it used to be.
Did we draft Jordan Poyer? I feel like we did. I'm going to look him up real quick. Hold on. My time.
You do your crack research, buddy.
Crack researching.
But yeah, no. As time has gone on, it's become more and more of a business. More and more people play it for money. And if
No, we didn't. Eagles, Browns, then us. I didn't think we did. Wow.
yeah,
But he still needs to retire, Buffalo Bill.
yeah, but no, it's very rare to have players, especially players outside of the quarterback position, playing their whole career with one team. I thought Tom Brady was going to be one of those guys.
I understand why Tom Brady did it. He did it because he wanted to prove him. He was what did it, not Belichick, because that was always going to be the question.
Yeah, but I still don't believe it proved it because basically
It proved it. I can make an argument for it. You can make an argument for it. No one will listen to us. Promise you.
I mean, all they did is they weren't great at first when he started. Then he yelled at them, and then they just took everything Belichick does and did it in Tampa Bay, and it worked. If anything, I think
that is so underselling what Bruce Arians does as a coach.
I'm not saying
Do not downsell Bruce Arians and what he does. He allows players to work towards their strengths. That's part of what makes him great. He doesn't sit there and say, I am the best. You're going to do what I say. He says, what can you do?
But one of them constantly has a top 10 defense and has 6 championships.
Yep.
And one of them didn't win his first championship until he started doing what Bill Belichick does.
No, he didn't do what Bill Belichick does.
Not completely, but they definitely.
He had a really good team the year prior with a quarterback that didn't have a sense of where to throw the ball. He had someone that with ball control, and then he was able to win a Super Bowl.
But they still had to change the offense up a bit to really get to click after that bye week.
Because Tom Brady couldn't do Tom Brady cannot run a Bruce Arians offense. I mean, that's a pretty big statement considering I don't know it, but my understanding of a Bruce Arians offense is a down the field, deep ball, high powered, crazy offense.
It is.
That is not a Tom Brady offense.
It's not.
So the fact that Tom Brady had more downfield shots than is average for his career, shows that this wasn't just a Patriots offense. But someone's at my door.
Someone is at the front door.
I apologize. I didn't realize Alexa was going to say that. I don't know who's at my door, but someone's at my door. My wife's upstairs. It'll be okay. Oh, apparently we didn't order pizza. Maybe we ordered pizza.
Maybe she did.
Oh, apparently we're having pizza for dinner. That is breaking news. Anyway, but it was a mixture. I do believe that Tom Brady brought his strengths, but Bruce Arians still was able to maneuver those strengths. So to say that, again, we can make arguments all day about it. And if you want, we could dedicate a whole show because I can argue it for an entire show, guaranteed.
Anyway, I still don't think that it proves that Brady, because I don't think he could have done that anywhere. He still needed a top 10 defense. He
needed the defense and he needed the receivers. He knew what he was doing when he went there.
And like I tell people, if he'd have gone to Jacksonville and done this and taken the Super Bowl, I'd been way more impressed.
I would have no argument at that point.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
But again, he's smart because he knew what people would say. People in general are not going to just anyway. I thought we'd have a 30-minute show, and we're an hour and a half.
Nah, hour and a half is about average for what we do.
So no, it is, but we really didn't have a whole lot other than just hey, we're gonna do off-season news and we're gonna rate these 10 quarterbacks. Like I didn't think we're gonna have a lot. I'm like, well, this will go by pretty quick.
I mean, we had 2 different lists, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, we had some overlap,
and then we had a pretty passionate flip that guy.
That's true, and I apologize. I don't want to rile anybody up. I'm not saying that anybody's opinion is invalid. I'm saying be able to defend yours. Don't just instantly jump to, hey, Matt, I don't like your hat.
Oh.
You're an idiot. You're a scum. You should die. That's not how life works. That's not how you get anywhere. Listen, I am able to discuss my opinions because I have opinions, and I want you to have opinions. But as soon as you jump to a hateful comment, as soon as I differ from you, then that means you have no substance behind your opinion. You don't know why. Either you were told to have the opinion or you didn't do any research whatsoever. So, by the way, I still love my comment to the Miami Dolphins, and I think that's where we need to end unless you have more to say. So I'm going to end with that. before our sign off. So do you have anything you want to add to anybody? Like, subscribe, whatever.
Yeah, no, we know about liking and subscribing, but let's see what you said to the Dolphins.
So the Dolphins did their every NFL team that I follow on Twitter, and I think I follow them all, posted about the Chauvin trial, which I don't think they should do. I feel like it's not genuine because they're just trying to, pander to the masses, whatever. Maybe they are genuine, but they all had these comments. And I think they should stick to football and football-related matters. When you start getting political like this, you're going to turn off so many fans. And football is a highly Midwestern type of thing anyway. So we're going to get to this. So I just said Miami Dolphins was the first one I saw. And Miami Dolphins posted their thing, which I don't disagree with them. They can have their opinion. That's good. But I just think that maybe a team of the Dolphins should stick to football. So I said, you know what? I would tell you to stick to football, but you're not really that good at that either.
Oh, shots fired.
Sorry.
Well, good luck getting Reed Ferguson's brother on the show now.
To be fair, it was a joke because I know that they went 11-5 last season or 10-6.
They definitely hit double-digit wins.
They were good, and it was mostly because of Fitzpatrick and that defense. I still want Blake Ferguson on the show. If you're watching, sorry.
Any Miami Dolphin we would love to have on the show.
I respect the team because the Dolphins they're one of my greatest rivals. The Kelly Marino era was amazing, but that was hilarious. I don't care who you are.
I mean, I just feel like it would have hit better if they'd have gone like 4-12.
It would have been, but at the same time, this was. I mean, it would have been better on the Jets, but I didn't see the Jets. Yeah. I saw the Dolphins.
Yeah, I feel you, and I get it. And if there's one thing I love almost on the same level as football, it's comedy.
I thought it was funny. A lot of people thought it was funny. I did offend some kids, and you kids that were trying to compare followers with me. I'm an adult. I do things other than the show.
For a quick comeback, that is a really good quick fire response.
It was just popped up. I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Exactly.
I wasn't trying to diss the entire Dolphins organization. It is a good organization that has had many good people. Zach Taylor, I love Zach Taylor more than about anybody there for a while. That dude was awesome.
Oh, if we get Zach Taylor on the show. Whew.
Well, listen, if anybody knows Zach Taylor, just showing me saying he's awesome, I'm sure he'll want to come on the show. If anybody, listen, we're a mobile show. Yeah. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, comment. Watch Taste Stuff on Sundays when we do it. And again, it's live, but we don't expect you guys to watch Sunday Night Live. We're just trying to get content on the interwebs. But
definitely comment because we have some views now, but I haven't seen a single comment yet. Not one.
Oh, not more than the weird.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I look for comments. I will read them. I work a third shift. A lot of it.
He will respond to you and have an opinion.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Even if you don't comment, that's basically par for the course so far. If you don't subscribe, which is kind of a sad thing to do. But if you don't
by the way, the comments are par for the course outside when it's archived. We have great comments usually when we're live. So
yeah, live, yes. But I mean like on the YouTube archive, I'll go in and check the videos and there's no comments. And I'm a little sad because we get more views through the archive, but nobody drops anything.
And if you comment on this episode when it's archived, we may respond to it on the next episode. So then you can respond. It could be a chain event. Anyway,
it's
guys,
I
think we got a good show here. I'm not going to lie. Get involved. That's what we like. We don't do this just so I can talk to Matt. As much as I love it, I love talking football, but I love talking football with anybody.
Yeah,
get involved. This is good stuff.
Yes.
I'm not saying that we're like this great show. I'm just talking football, being able to bicker back and forth about our teams. What's better than 32 NFL teams, and not everybody likes the team? Is it geographical? Is it because of some stupid reason like me that I'm a Bills fan? Is it because your team was good when you were young? There's so many different reasons like a fan.
Is it a family thing? Well, my dad was a Steelers fan, and my grandpa was a Steelers fan, so I'm a Steelers fan. Something like that.
There's so many different reasons, and then there's no better debate when it comes to anything than sports debates.
Yeah.
Because no one started the same way. no one likes the team for the same reasons, and you all are super passionate. Like very few people are as passionate as they are about sports teams.
But it's also never personal unless you're actually in the NFL in some capacity.
I don't know. I take some things personal.
But it's not. Like if for some reason I was like, dude, Patrick, the Bills suck. I'm not.
Fuck you. Oh, sorry. That was reaction.
but I'm not saying anything about Patrick. I'm not telling Patrick he sucks.
And he's not even saying he hates the Bills. That's the way it does. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I said flip and flip Kansas City. Flip those Packers. Actually, I've never said that. I've always liked the Packers. Not always. But I love Brett Favre, love Aaron Rodgers. So,
But this is our show for this week. I had fun with it. A lot of passion in it. A lot of information put out there.
Matt's going to yell at me afterwards.
I'm not going to yell at nobody. I'm not a yeller. It's not my style.
I didn't mean to.
But yeah,
I love you, Alex Smith.
Yes. And if you don't do anything else after this show, just tell your moms about us.